In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about using the Mackie ProFX6v3 Audio Mixer. We're going to go through all the inputs, the outputs, the settings, and things that you need in order to make this audio mixer work. Plus, we're going to give our thoughts and our feelings about all the choices that they made about this audio mixer. So if you're looking for a review video, this video will also work for you. Now, first of all, just in terms of setup and how this video works, right now you're listening to the Rode NT1 Signature Series. This is connected and recorded off screen. Now, in terms of setup for this video, the Mackie ProFX6v3 is already plugged in and turned on. I am connected through USB to my laptop, and I'm recording this audio mixer through the USB output to my laptop, and that's already connected. If you are looking for pricing or specs for anything that you see in this video as we show you everything, as we set everything up, please do check out the links down in the description below where you can find everything in this video from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you do get the best price possible. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the outputs of this audio mixer to our powered speaker. Any powered speaker will do. Right now I'm using a small studio monitor, but if you're using a 15-inch powered speaker, that'll work for you as well. Also, we always start with the outputs of an audio mixer. It's a habit of mine from running live events. I always like to start with the big problems and work my way down. If the outputs of your audio mixer don't work, that's a really big problem. If you're struggling with an input channel, you can usually work around those things. So I always start backwards, start with the output, then I test it with music, then I get all my microphones and settings and everything dialed in, and that's exactly how we're going to work in this video. So if I turn the speaker around here, you can see that it does have an XLR output on the back of the speaker. That's perfect. That's exactly like every other powered speaker out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect an XLR cable to the left output of the XLR outputs here on the main outs of the Mackie ProFX6v3. Now you can use these 1/4-inch outputs, but as is professional standard, XLR is way more popular, way more abundant, and is generally the accepted cable to use when you're connecting a powered speaker to an audio mixer. There's nothing wrong with the other one. This is just a more popular solution. So I'm going to connect this cable to the left output. I'm going to connect the other end of this cable to the back of our powered speaker. So we have our output connected and set up now. Now we're going to take a look down on the output of the audio mixer here. We have two options here. We have the break button. If this is lit, this means that you will get no output from your audio mixer. So if you need to panic mute something, if you're getting feedback, if things are out of control for you, you can hit this break button here and it will mute all your outputs of this audio mixer. Below that, we have the main output level for your main outputs here. I'm going to set this at the 12 o'clock position, also known as 0 or unity. That's why there's a U there at the top of the 12 o'clock position. That is the best starting point for the main output of your audio mixer. All right, next, just so I can hear exactly what's going on, I'm going to connect my headphones to the headphone output of the audio mixer. So I'm going to put my headphones on. Again, if you are looking for links or anything that I use, we have links down in the description below. Right here, you can see the headphone output. I'm going to connect that. And right here, you can see that there is the headphone level knob. I am going to use this on and off as I set up the audio mixer. Right now, I'm going to leave it turned down. Okay. So the next thing that I like to do when I set up an audio mixer is I like to run some type of music through it. So I'll connect a line level source to one of the line level inputs and get it going. This is a really fast way just to confirm that all the systems are working. So we're going to work backwards again on 5.6 here. You can see right here that there's an input area for channel 5.6. It's labeled 5.6. We have two options. We have the line input and we have the Bluetooth input. The volume knob for this whole section is down here at the bottom. It's labeled 5.6. This is a little bit confusing because the 3.4 inputs are here, then the 3.4 volume knob is here. The 5.6 inputs are here, then the 5.6 level knob is here. So you just pay attention to what you're doing, and if you're following along this video, just do as I do. So for 5.6, we have two options. We have an 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter line input here. You can use an aux cable or something like that to connect. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to use the Bluetooth input. Now, if it's flashing, that means it's looking for a Bluetooth source. So I can go in my phone here. I'm just going to select ProFX6v3. Once I select that, you can see that the Bluetooth light here goes solid. That means that we have a good connection. So once I have that connected, I'm just going to quickly go into Epidemic Sound. I'm going to play some music to make sure that all our systems are working. So right now it says it's playing. So I'm going to turn up 5.6. You can hear it coming out of the speaker there. I'm going to turn down the speaker now because we're using the USB output. I'm going to turn this up, turn up my headphone level, and I can hear in my headphones that it's working. I can see on my computer that it's recording. This is perfect. So I'm going to turn down my headphones. I'm going to turn down that 5.6 output. Next, if you don't have a Bluetooth device or if you have another line level input, you're going to want to use a cable like this. This cable will take whatever you're using. So you can connect like a stereo piano with 2 1/4-inch cables if you want, but most people end up plugging in more line level sources. So I like to use a cable like this. This will take the headphone output of whatever you're using and give you a left and right 1/4-inch mono input. As you can see here, there's a left and right input, so you don't have to worry about panning. If you're connecting a stereo source, the left will go to your left speaker, the right will go to your right speaker, everything will work. So I'm going to use my phone again here for simplicity. So I'm going to connect a headphone jack adapter. I still have a lightning jack on the bottom of my phone here. I'm going to connect that. That gives me a headphone jack. So you can see here, I'm going to connect this cable to my phone output. And then I'm going to connect this other end of this cable, the 2 1/4-inch ends, into the audio mixer. Red is always right. So I'm going to start with red. Red is right. And then gray by default will be left. Next, I'm going to hit play on my phone and turn up the volume. So you can see here, I turned up the 3/4 volume, which corresponds to the 2 inputs that we just connected into the 3/4 input on this audio mixer. Now you can hear it coming into the recording as well. I'm going to turn this down now. So that's how you get music and line level sources. Any line level source or 1/4-inch source or 1/8-inch source or Bluetooth source will work exactly with the steps that we just showed you. Next, let's connect and set up some microphones. I'm going to disconnect my phone. First, I'm going to start with a dynamic microphone here. The Shure SM57 is the most popular dynamic microphone in the world. I'm just going to set it up right in front of my mouth, about a fist away from my mouth. That's good mic positioning there. Now, the downside about dynamic microphones is that they do need quite a bit of gain, so I'll show you what that means in a second. For now, I'm just going to connect this XLR cable. As you can see here, it's male to female XLR cable. I'm going to connect one end to the back of the microphone and the other end into our audio mixer. Okay, now that we have the microphone connected, we can notice that below this input are all the settings for this microphone. Everything on an audio mixer works in vertical strips. So all the settings for this microphone that we just connected are right below it. First of all, we're going to start by turning the level knob up to 50% here, the 12 o'clock position. You can see in the shadow right above where it's pointed, there's a small U. That stands for unity. This is the best starting position on a small audio mixer like this to get your microphone set up. Once that's there, then we're going to turn up the gain or the preamp of this microphone. Now, to make this dynamic microphone work, we're going to be almost maxed out here. There's no problem in pushing this preamp hard if you need that gain. What we're looking for here is at your loudest moments, you're right around 0 dB. So you can see here that I am setting off the 4 dB light just a little bit. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. Once we're at 4 dB and flickering into 0 dB, that's absolutely perfect for how this microphone input should be set up. Next, I'm going to show you how we connect a condenser microphone because it is just a little bit different. Now I'm going to turn this down, move this microphone out of the way, get a condenser microphone here. Here's another Rode NT1, same microphone I was using earlier. So now I'm going to connect this to channel 2. Now when you're using a condenser microphone, there's one very important setting that you need in order to activate the microphone. First, I'm going to start by connecting another XLR cable into the bottom of the microphone. Then I'm going to connect the other end to channel 2 on our audio mixer. Now, if I turn up the level knob and turn up the gain, you'll notice right now I'm getting no level out of this. And this microphone is supposed to be more sensitive. So in order to make this condenser microphone work, I need to turn on 48 volts of phantom power here. I'm going to turn that on now. This will power the condenser microphone. Dynamic microphones don't need 48 volts, but they need way more gain from the preamp. A condenser microphone needs 48 volts, but you'll see here that we need less gain. So I'm going to turn this up now. Start with the level knob at 50%. Then I'm going to turn up my input gain until we're right around that 0, kind of 4 dB mark as well. So you can see here talking into this microphone, my level is set right where I want it to be. Let's take a look at some of the other settings that we have on this audio mixer. Starting right below the microphone inputs, you'll see that there is a high Z button. You would click this if you're connecting an electric guitar, bass guitar, mandolin, anything with electric pickups directly to your audio mixer. This will match the impedance and set your input gain more appropriately for those types of instruments. If you're using a microphone, this button should be in the up position. Next, we have a low cut switch here. For a low cut switch, what this is doing is it's going to roll off the lower frequencies below 100 Hertz. Basically, you're going to take this microphone out of the subwoofer of whoever's listening to you. Generally speaking, for most microphones, I like doing that. So I'm going to turn it on now. Below that, we do have a 2-band EQ. So if you want more highs out of the microphone, you can turn that up. Or if you want less highs, you can turn it down. And below that, we have a low frequency, so we can turn that up, or we can turn that down, depending on what you want to do with low frequencies. There is a fixed compressor here. You don't get any control over it, but what a compressor will do is it'll basically squish your microphone, make your louder moments just a little bit quieter. Generally, if I'm speaking or singing, I like to have a compressor on. I'm going to turn that on now. You should notice that if I get really loud, generally how this will work is if I go above 0 dB, it'll squish it down a bit more to make it predictable. So that's how that works. Next, we have the effects button. So if we want to send this microphone to our effects, we can click that on. This opens up this whole effects engine here. So you can see at the top that we have a delay on right now. I'm going to turn up this effects send to main, and now you can hear that the delay is working. Inside the delay, we have these variables, so you can click into them. I can select the time and I can shorten the delay. Shorten the delay. So now it's almost nothing. And if I lengthen the delay all the way to 1,000 milliseconds or 10 seconds, you'll notice it gets way longer. Okay, now these three variables will change depending on the effect that you're on. So you can click back, and we go delay. Now we have echo. I'm going to lock into that. And for that one, they're all the same. But let's go to a Hall reverb. So you get Hall decay, size, and the high cut filter. So you can change those variables however you want. You just click into them, change the size of your Hall, or you can make it smaller if you want, and save that. Now you can notice we have a much smaller Hall. Now if we come out of that, I'm just going to go actually into this. You can notice at the bottom we have this EQ setting. You can actually EQ your effects. So if you want more lows or if you want less lows or less highs, you can do that. And you can also tune the middle frequencies. You can also save your effects into the preset engine. So once you have an effect that you like, you can save it into a preset here. You can say, I want to save this in a preset 1, and that's now locked in. So that's how the effects engine works. I'm going to turn down this effects to main, and then I'm going to turn off the effects for this microphone. Below this, we have this stereo 1-2 pan button. So what this will do is it'll pan microphone 1 to the left and microphone 2 to the right. This is kind of confusing. This is a leftover kind of artifact from the previous version of this audio mixer. What this is meant for is if you're recording with this audio mixer, the USB output only has 2 sends out of it. So you can send the whole stereo mix, or you can send your left and right. So if you have 2 microphones connected, you can press this button. It'll send one microphone to the left channel, another microphone to the right channel. Then you can mix between them once you get it all on your computer. Now that whole thing goes out the window because the Mackie added a whole bunch of pretty cool USB functionality to this audio mixer. If you take a look below the effects engine here, you'll see standard, loopback, and interface. This is referring to the USB output of the audio mixer. Standard will record everything coming out of the audio mixer as the main stereo mix. Loopback will record everything from the audio mixer, including any USB channels that you send in. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And interface mode here will record just the dry version of channel 1 and 2 to your computer. This will basically do the same thing as pressing this stereo mix button on the Mackie ProFX6v3 Plus. Now, while we're talking about USB options here, I want to talk about this blend knob. The blend knob is a super cool feature that you rarely find on a small audio mixer like this. This is made if you're recording or if you're doing some sort of studio session and you're wanting to overdub. How this works is it'll take USB 1.2 from your computer and bring it into your audio mixer. Then, with your headphones on, you can blend between listening to the input from your computer or what's happening on the audio mixer. So if you're recording a new vocal track, you can hear all this music, and then you can decide how much of the music versus how much of your vocal you want in your headphones. That's how that works. Then you can also effects mute in the blend knob as well. Now the last thing that we have to cover here is this USB 3.4 button on input 3.4. So right where I connected our stereo input from the beginning of this video, we have this 3.4 volume knob. If that's not working for whatever reason, this USB 3.4 button might be pressed. What this is made to do is it's made to take more inputs from your computer. So if you have USB 1.2 going to your blend knob and USB 3.4 coming into here, you can use it as a music playback in your recording as well. Even if you're not using it for music playback in a recording, this is also just another option that you have if you're playing music back off your laptop at a live event or something like that. If you don't want to connect the cable in the top stereo inputs, you can connect the USB cable, select USB 3.4 on your computer, and send it into this 3.4 section if the 3.4 button is pressed there with the USB. I hope this video has been helpful. Again, if you are looking for anything in this video, we have links down in the description below. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.